This video is about determinism and free will. I made a video about this subject before, but I don't think I used the right approach. So here I'm going to present some universal rules for why there can't be any free fucking will. And I'm also assuming that the definition of free will is the ability to make a choice without being forced like a little faggot bitch by the laws of nature to make that choice. That is what I'm going to refute here. If you have any other definition of free will, you can suck my golden pubes. First, I'm going to explain why I am a determinist. See, there are these, is everything predetermined or are there randomness in the universe discussions going around. Could there be things happening in the universe that are completely random? Effects to which there are no causes. A lot of people like to believe this. Some people talk to me about quantum mechanics, about these tiny little particle motherfuckers jumping around acting seemingly random. And they argue that because of this, randomness does exist. But of course it doesn't. How about that? You can't have an effect without a cause causing that effect to take effect. I haven't heard any valid explanations for how randomness can exist. I've only heard examples of things that happen that seems random. To us. Motherfucker, let me tell you something. Puh. Let's say I have a little guinea pig. Not a guinea pig, mind you, but a guinea pig. A guinea pig is a completely different thing. You didn't think that in all those videos where I said guinea pig, I actually meant guinea pig, did you? That it was just a mere mispronunciation. Jesus, you must have gotten what I said in those vids all wrong, man. I mean, if you knew the true definition of the word guinea pig, you'd know that with the arguments wherein I used the word, I was proving the existence of God. Man, all those videos must have sounded like a bunch of scientific yip-yap to all you suckers. Well, water under the bridge. The thing with randomness. If I have a guinea pig, and I have a feeding schedule for him with a specific hour where I'm supposed to feed him every day. Only the specific hour varies from day to day, so I never feed him at the same hour 2 days in a row. And this schedule repeats itself every 15 days. After 15 days, I start over from the beginning. Now, to the guinea pig, the time of day when it gets fed will seem completely random. But it ain't random. The system I follow is just too complicated for him to understand. He can't sit down and take notes and say, today I was fed 2 hours earlier than yesterday and 1 hour later than the day before that. And this system seems to repeat itself every 15 days. He doesn't have the ability to do that, just like we don't have the ability to understand how certain things work. Randomness doesn't exist, but things may seem random to someone who doesn't understand what makes those things happen. To someone who can't figure out what system of cause and effect those things follow. If we had a machine that could scan every last particle in space and calculate the effect that every last particle has on each other, we would be able to see exactly what was going to happen in the future. Of course, that ain't never gonna happen, so to us there will always be an element of uncertainty, of randomness. But like I said before, even if randomness existed, that still wouldn't be free will, that would just be randomness affecting our brains, forcing us to do what we do. Let me tell you this little story about a guy named Bob. Bob walks down the road until he gets to a sign that says Road 1 and Road 2. Bob wants to get to the beach. He has tried both roads before, one leads out of town while the other leads to the beach. Bob chooses the one that leads to the beach. When he gets to the beach, he pulls out his gun and starts shooting people. But that's beside the point. My point is that Bob had to choose the road that led to the beach. He couldn't have chosen the other. There weren't enough thought processes activated in his head that made him want to choose the other road. Just like a robot who is programmed to get to the beach. When the robot knows that one way leads to the beach and the other doesn't, then it has to pick the one that leads to the beach. The other road isn't an alternative because of the state of mind that the robot has been programmed to be in that exact situation. We are programmed to do what we do by our surroundings. Now here's another one. Bob hangs out with the guys, drinking beers and talking about women and cars and sports. You know, the usual stereotypical stuff that makes you want to strap an atomic bomb to your chest and blow up this motherfucker. I'm just kidding, Jesus, chill the fuck out. One of the guys makes a joke about Bob's mom being sexually attractive. Now Bob could say, fuck you. But seeing as Bob has been saying the word fuck all night, he's a little bit tired of it. And the words screw you is therefore more original and fresh, so they are more appealing. So instead of saying fuck you, he says screw you. Now Bob feels that he chose to say screw you instead of fuck you, because he can imagine it being just as easy saying fuck you. But what he doesn't realize is that because of past events, there were more thought processes, subconscious and conscious, that made him want to say screw you than there were thoughts that made him want to say fuck you. And so he was forced to say the one and not the other, even though it didn't feel like it. So screw you, Bob. Screw you. Okay, last scenario. Bob has been going around thinking about orange juice for an hour now and is real thirsty. So he walks into the nearest store and he gets to the shelf where all the fruit juices are at. Suddenly, a thought pops into his head. Wouldn't it be cool if I chose to buy an apple juice instead? Even though I don't like apple juice and I'd much rather like to buy an orange juice. You know, just to prove to myself that I have free will. He starts thinking about this and along comes other subconscious thoughts like, if he chooses to buy the apple juice instead of the orange juice that he lusts for, it means that he is a strong individual. And if he chooses to buy the orange juice, it means that he is too weak to go against his own cravings. And after standing there a while, the sum of all thoughts that makes him want to buy the apple juice is stronger than the sum of all thoughts that makes him want to buy the orange juice. So he pays for the apple juice, walks out, takes a sip. It doesn't taste very good, but at least he has the comforting and reassuring illusion of having free will. Ah. We don't choose to do what we do more than an apple chooses to fall from the tree. When we take all the different factors in the situation into consideration, such as the apple's weight, the strength of the wind blowing towards the apple, the strength of the stem holding the apple to the branch, etc., we see that the apple had to fall from the tree exactly when it fell from the tree. The apple didn't have any choice. There were no alternatives. Just because humans seem more complex in this doesn't mean that we are any more free from the laws of physics. It just means that we have to take more things into consideration to be able to see what makes someone feel, think and act the way they do.